Okay, we got special guests today. We're in a location that most Clevelanders, if they don't know already, they really should. We're here in the Goodtime 3, and we're talking to Captain Rick. And Captain, is a lifelong Clevelander. Been on the Goodtime many, many times. Had some great times, more than good times here and all that. First of all, tell us, it's the Goodtime 3, so that implies
it is, Dan.
There's some history there. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, the Goodtime company started in 1958 with the Goodtime. It was a 100-passenger vessel that ran 58, 59, and then in 60, my grandfather and great uncle who started the company, they introduced the Goodtime 2. They ran with the Goodtime 2 and the Goodtime 60 through, I believe, 64, and then sold the original Goodtime. It went to Hyannisport, Massachusetts, and did tours of the Martha's Vineyard. So the Goodtime 2 ran straight through, consecutively, through 1990. September 16th of that year, this vessel that we're sitting on right now was brought into Cleveland, or delivered, and then went into service April 26th of 1991. And this is now the 32nd year for the Goodtime 3.
Wow. So you're Captain Rick here, and the Goodtime has been a family thing. You grew up with it, right? Tell us a little about your history and your background.
Well, much like my father, I went in the service in 1983, and while I was in, my father bought the Goodtime 2. And so when I did get out of the Army, I got a day to renew my license, and then I started on the Goodtime 2 as a deckhand and in the souvenir stand. So I ran the souvenir stand for the first few years. Then I became a bar manager. Then I became an assistant manager and the general manager in 2001. And now I'm the owner. But the company was started in 1958 when my dad was in the service. So that's why I say we mirror each other. In fact, he bought the company when he was 47. I actually inherited the company when I was 47.
Wow.
Upon my father's demise, unfortunately.
Yeah. I got to think that if you asked anyone what branch of the service Captain Rick was in, they would say
the Navy or the Coast Guard, right? That's what everybody says. But the reality is, my dad was in the Army, and I just wanted to follow that tradition, and so I joined the Army November of my senior year. I didn't earn the grades to go to college, and of course I later found out that when I did get out of the Army with the Army College Fund, I went to Cleveland State. I really didn't care for college. It wasn't for me. And it's not for everybody, but
well, it's when you look at some of the results of college, maybe sitting in a cubicle somewhere or being out here in the lake and river every day.
This is definitely more fun. I will admit, but obviously nepotism was involved. But we have a interesting family, and that is, you have to earn every dime you get. And from a very early age, my father had a job. I started my first job in 7th grade, and it was actually at my old house. And I was taking care of golden Labradors.
Okay.
So I was cleaning up their cages, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
So I graduated to cows and, all that stuff later in my formative years. And, but...
Real glamorous job there.
You know what? All I can tell you is I tip my hat to anybody that's in the dairy farming or any sort of farming business. It's hard work, and it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
So, Captain, tell us about this beautiful ship we're on.
Well, this ship wants for nothing. The reality is it's 32 years old, but it is a gigantic hole in the water in which I pour money. And to me, it's important that when people come on the boat, they don't see an old dingy vessel. when they come on, it needs to be nice. And so I spare no expense, and mechanically, I keep the vessel in tip-top shape. And cosmetically, if you look around, you're going to see a lot of improvements. Restrooms, as an example, we redid those last year. We redid our dance floor, our flooring on the main level, and every deck on the vessel has been stripped down to bare steel in the last 3 years and recoated. So that was quite a project.
So how big is it, and how many decks?
Well, we have 4 decks. We're 151 feet long, 40 feet wide, and we can carry legally 1,000 passengers.
Wow.
Realistically, 750, 775, that's typically my max. In fact, for 4th of July, I keep it at 750 because I want people to be comfortable, be able to move around, etc.
You know, and you say about people feeling comfortable and having a good time, and that's the goal, of course, and all. But this, you know, you're on a great lake, and you're on a very crooked river, and this takes some skills. This is not a ride at Cedar Point or something. This takes some maritime skills and all that. Tell us a little about, you got a huge lake and a river, a crooked river.
Right. Well, the river can be treacherous, or it can be a nice lazy day. You know, it depends on the rains, obviously. And the other issue that we face is the wind. You know, a lot of people call Chicago the Windy River, but the Windy City. But quite frankly, Cleveland is really the Windy City, no doubt. So the winds bring up waves, and then we give them a little bit of Cedar Point on those days.
Yeah.
You know, they feel like they're on a roller coaster. But we'd never take the vessel out in the lake if it's too rough. Our motto is, we only want to see your lunch once, and that's when we serve it.
Jeez.
So, but the masters of the vessel, I have 4 captains that captain the ship, and they have lots of years of experience, and they do a great job, and they're always in contact with the freighters and the other vessels that are on the river. So this way we know where to pass. Sometimes we can't go all the way up, or sometimes we have to turn, sometimes we have to wait. It's just part of the trip. Every trip is a little bit different than the next.
And speaking of that, you know, if you're a lifelong Clevelander or been around for a while or something, think, okay, I'm going to take a sightseeing tour and all, but there's so many more options. You know, we're going to link to the website and some of the options.
Right.
Like for particular groups, say for example seniors, and there's senior days and discounts and all. But I say, you know, as a Clevelander, I see your Michael Stanley events, and your dinner and dancing and date nights and various things. So this is. You may go with your Rotary for a sightseeing tour when visitors come in, but at night you go with the
entertainment,
the spouse, and the entertainment and stuff like that. How's that been?
We offer several different entertainment cruises. Some of them are special events. Some of them we run on public cruises. Like we have a Swifties cruise.
I'll skip that one.
Yeah, we also have.
Unless the Kelseys come. Huh?
Yeah, there you go. We have several unique bands that will be on board every Friday and Saturday night. I recommend everyone go to our website and click on City Lights Cruises, and on there's a whole list of bands and entertainment that we have throughout the summer, starting Friday, June 13th in 2025. Now, you mentioned seniors. Seniors are a big part of our business. This year, what we offered was Monday through Wednesday, we offer senior citizen cruises, and we do a reduced rate from an adult rate normally of $30 down to, I believe it's $20. So it's a big savings. It's in May. We only have a few dates left, but we probably will do this again next year, but maybe on one day out of that of each week in the month of May. This way there's more people on each cruise.
And I see to board the ship there's a low slope ramp, and there's very
Yes.
wide aisles. So if someone's got a wheelchair or a walker or something.
Yes, we are wheelchair accessible, including our restrooms. And
Okay.
we've always, with this vessel, we've always been wheelchair accessible. The Goodtime 2, years ago, it was wheelchair accessible onto the main deck, but the restrooms were not accessible. So it was important to us to make that happen. The upper decks are not accessible. Hopefully someday we may be able to put in an elevator up to the second deck, but that's in the future.
Well, the views on both sides and on any deck are just
Right.
You don't get views like this anywhere else.
Right.
It's just
In
impossible.
fact, if you look behind me, we actually have a view from the pilot house. So we can have that screen go all the way across and people can see both sides. We also just put in a screen on our main deck where we'll tap into that camera and people will be able to see from the main deck everything as if they were the captain of the vessel.
All right, so Clevelanders, if it's been a while since you've been on the Goodtime 3, check it out again. There's always
Please.
something new. Every ride, like the captain says, is different.
Yep.
And you got to this is the first place you bring your out-of-town visitors. They've got to see this. But also look at the link on the website to their website that we're providing here to see some of these special things that might interest you, like the Michael Stanley, or if you're a Swiftie, God forbid, or a senior, or some of these other things. There's a lot of opportunities. This is a Cleveland classic, a Cleveland treasure, and we're glad to be talking to Captain Rick today, and have a great sail today.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you coming aboard.